going on, guys? I hope everyone is doing great. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, definitely think about subscribing. We got a lot of stuff coming to the channel. I'm adjusting to my lawn care season, so videos have kind of been, I'm still doing videos, but they're more sporadic, but I'll get back into the groove of things, which they're probably not even really sporadic. It just feels like that because I'm in an adjustment period. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about, well, first of all, I found one guy. I did a one-time mow, which I don't usually do, and he has some firewood and some branches that he's gonna get rid of. So I was like, hey, I'll take this firewood. You know, it's Bradford pear, so it's pretty good. You can smoke barbecue, you can burn it, you know, in your fireplace or whatever. It's pretty good wood. So I'm gonna be doing that. And then also too, the same guy the other day, the guy that was cutting it down, he was doing a really probably too cheap of a price, and he quit halfway through, left all the debris, even left his climbing rope. So I was able to snag that. So I already used that to take down a tree, or a tree branch, because I have a cherry tree that's kind of dying back a little bit in my lawn. So I don't want, my kids to, it to fall on them or something. But anyway, long story short, so I got that, and then I also sold one of my first tree trimming. It's a little baby oak tree, but it's a little trimming job that I got. So I'm going to be doing that too. The only other tree jobs that I've sold is like a crepe myrtle, which I kind of consider that, it is a tree, but I consider it more of a bush. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then basically that's what I have. So I'll be taking you guys along. And also I wanted to touch on a topic about like basically worrying, and kind of, should you, do I worry? And I try not to worry. And then, for example, a lot of people are worried about, guys driving in the middle of the road. A lot of people are worried about the tariffs right now. That's the hot topic. The news is like, oh, it's going to start a trade war and all this kind of stuff. So, people are worried about their stocks, which they have every right to worry, because, a lot of people lost a lot of money with the stocks because everyone was selling off because they, thought some bad stuff's going to happen, or whatever your take is on it. That is your opinion, or you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong or I'm right or anything. My focus is on the worry. So it's natural for me as a human, to worry. But I believe in God, so I try to put, my worry on Him and trust that my needs will be taken care of. So that's what I do. So if you're in the stock, this is the example, if you're in the stock market and you're panic selling because something bad's going to happen, or you're worried that something's bad going to happen or something, to me, that's not something that I try to do. So I will think logically about things in the situation, but I try to trust in God. So that's what I do. And let me know what you guys think or what you guys do. Here, I'll give you another example. So in my lawn, I forgot I forgot what I had to pay, but I've been having to pay like a lot of stuff lately this year. You know, it's like 1,000 here, 1,000 there for like repairs and, you know, stuff going on. But there's a leak at my house at the water main. You know, it's on my side. I got an estimate, and it was like to put 75 feet of new, you know, pipe, whatever it is, the black, you know, polyethylene or whatever it is, black pipe, to run it to my house was going to be, what'd they say, 3,900. And I was like, I'm not, you know, some people would do it and worry about it, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that. I could rent the machine and figure it out myself for you know, I could buy a new lawnmower for that, you know. And plus it's just one leak, it's not the whole pipe. So, and then plus the guy, in my opinion, nice guy, but if you don't put a shovel to the dirt when there's a leak, then I'm not gonna hire you. That's just how I am. If you're a roofer, I had a roofer come over one time to give, two roofers come over to give estimates. They didn't even go on the roof. You're not even putting eyes on it. That's just weird to me. Same in lawn care. Me, if I'm gonna quote a job, I'm not gonna look on a map. I'm gonna go and look at it. That's just me. Now, it may be different for you. Me, I don't want to quote it, and then I go there, and you know, there's a hill like this, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a hill. So me, I have a leak, and I've been slowly trying to find it. I'm not worrying about it. What is it going to be, a couple extra dollars on my, you know, bill a month until I can find the leak? Yeah. You know, and then I have this. Listen, my exhaust pipe is broken. I'm not worrying about it because I'm going to do it when I can do it. So me and my family's needs are provided for. So I am a sole provider for the family. Currently, my wife is working on, you know, some stuff, which I'm proud of her. But long story short is I'm not trying to worry, and the reason is that's not my job to worry, because my needs, I'm the sole, you know, provider, but I'm not by myself. I have God with me, helping me. So that's kind of where I am mentally right now. And with being, you know, a believer in God, and, you know, being a Christian, I try to do the best I can. You notice maybe on my channel, I don't cuss. I try not to. That's one of my things I try to do. Just because I don't care for it. But anyway, I'm kind of starting to rant, but that's where I'm at mentally. And so I just wanted to share, document it for my channel. And I'm on the fence if I want to, because I do a lot of chainsaw stuff, and I like chainsaws for fun, you know, and I like doing my little, you know, fun stuff on my channel. So I thought about just making like a separate channel to talk about, you know, God and being a believer, and, you know, things, you know, believers go through, or even non-believers. I'm not going to discriminate. But then at the same time, I kind of just want to put it on this channel. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Because I do have a conviction to share how I get through problems, not just for you guys, but for myself. It helps to discuss it, and then also for my future generations, I want them to know about what I am about, and the, struggles and fun, that I have. So that's kind of my take, guys. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good idea to share these kind of things on the channel? I'm probably not going to do politics, because it's just it's so like dividing, and that's not what I want to do. But also too, if you talk about God or things like that, that can be dividing too. But just know, if you listen to it, listen to my channel, me speaking like that is not to divide you. It's just to give you my perspective. Or it's not anything. I'm not trying to be against anyone. So it just comes out of my heart, comes out of love. And yeah, just let me know, guys. Let's get to this job. I'm going to be using the GoPro. Alright guys, if you see me limping, it's because my toe, my toe is kind of hurting. I think I got like some dirt in it or something, and it's infected. So that's why I'm limping. So it's not an ingrown toenail, but it feels like that. I'm gonna take about 4 of these branches off. FYI. Hopefully I can reach it with my little 2511T. guys, just a little quick work. Just got to cut it up a little bit and then load it, and then I'll be out of here. Well, I got one more thing to do in the back, but you can see, tried to trim it up, you know, not getting too much into the collar. That way they heal over. I'd say it's pretty good for, I'd say it's pretty good in my opinion. So just gotta cut some of this up and load it. Good.
Couldn't think of a nicer day to be doing this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. My name is Michael, by the way. This is my friend Ed. What we're doing is we're extending everybody to Memorial of Christ Death. So we know it's the season. Most churches are celebrating Jesus. This month is one of the last celebrating Essex to remember him every year. Something accurate. What's your name? I'm Michael. Nice to meet you, Alex.
I'm Ed. Nice meeting you.
Have a good day. Stay safe.
Good luck out there.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully people are nice, you know?
Yep. It varies, doesn't it? Yeah. Some people are super nice and other people are not quite, but we go to see everybody. You know, we try to talk to everyone.
Yeah. Have a good afternoon. Gotta try. Yeah.
Gotta
absolutely.
try.
Hey guys, so I'm not sure if the camera picked it up, but you know, me speaking about God on camera, there were a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses, which I am not Jehovah's Witness, I am a Christian, so they have different beliefs. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but basically they were really nice to me and invited me to go to their memorial for Jesus's death. And I just told him like, hey, I'm a regular Christian, you know, and he said it would be interesting for me to go and all this kind of stuff, and I was just really nice and I wished him well. I didn't really argue with him because I'm not I don't really like to argue, and I don't think it gets anywhere. And plus I don't know scripture, you know, I don't know the Bible as well as I could, because I am, you know, I don't know the word, but I'm not someone that has all of the answers or someone to dispute in the way. If I were to, it could hurt somebody's feelings. Not that I'm afraid of hurting the feelings, but if I were to do that, I would want to come at it in a loving way, in what I know, in the way I'm not at that point yet, if that makes sense. But basically, in a nutshell, the difference, you know, from a Christian and a Jehovah's Witness is they use the same bullet points. You know, they believe Jesus died, you know, they believe Jesus was real, they believe in God, which they call Jehovah, and things like that. But the thing where they stray away from me and my beliefs is they believe that Jesus was the archangel Michael before he became Jesus. And that's not what I believe, nor that's not what, you know, I've read in scripture. So that's just my take on it. So if you guys didn't know, that's kind of the difference, you know. And Christians, they believe, you know, they believe in God, they believe God has a spirit, and then they believe God had a son, which is God came down in human form and died for our salvation. And that's kind of the difference. They don't believe in that. So I was very cordial and nice, and hopefully, I don't know if it picked it up, but I'm here on the next place to get some firewood, so I'll be doing that. But first job went good. Second job is not really a job, more of fun. But yeah. Alright guys, I grabbed some wood from this guy. Nice guy, and he's got like a pole in or something, and he's like, my chainsaw can't cut through a lot of this stuff, so it's gonna take him forever. So I'm just gonna try to process it a little bit for him. He's in the city, so the city will pick up a lot of the brush, and then he's gonna just get rid of the bigger stuff too. So I'm not gonna film too much because he's coming in and out. So I'm just gonna show you the before and after. All right, so I cut it up into more manageable pieces for him, and then he can get it from here. And then there's some more firewood, you know, size pieces I'm gonna grab. And then I did go back in there and then cut that stuff up as well. So hopefully it helps him a little bit. Oh, and the echo I'm probably gonna have to run that thing again, man. That thing is running pretty stout right now. I'm liking it. All right, guys, I am unloaded for the day. So I put the scraps over here. This is my to be burned pile. And then I gotta rake some of this stuff out and burn, you know, some of the scraps before it's too late. I think over here they cut off the burning April 30th. So it's coming up sooner than later. And then I put all the Bradford pear, so I gotta cut some stuff up later. I didn't cut it up now, so I'll have something to do, you know, process later. But yeah, I'll probably be running my Echo soon. I need to switch the coil on it to the 620 coil that I got, so that's on my to-do list. But right now it's ripping, so it's just super loud with my pipe. With my scab welded the pipe. If you guys haven't seen that video, you might want to go check it out. But yeah, that probably will do it for this video. And I do appreciate you, and I hope you have a great afternoon. Thanks, guys. Or great evening, night, great morning, whenever you're watching. Later.